Hey everyone, Pine here, and I'm here with another arcade stick review because I had plenty of money to spend. Today I am going to be reviewing the Hori Fighting Edge stick. Now this is really expensive. Everyone knows this. This is like a tournament class level, high class level of a arcade stick, and just looking at it, this box is huge. This is the first box I've ever had that's this big, which comes to show that I don't own that many arcade sticks. Even so, let's begin. Let's unpackage this bad boy. Interesting, because from the Philippines, but everything that's written here is in Japanese, so you can tell it's like imported. So we're gonna start from the top here. I don't know if you guys can see. Gonna open these little pads right here. Pull it open. Pull this up. We're gonna put this. Right here we have some foam and a cover for the arcade stick. I'm gonna bring it out in a sec. Alright, so brought it out of the box. We got the foams at the side, and we have the plastic cover. Foam right here. And now, for the grand reveal, even though I've already seen it because I had to inspect the product before buying it. And here we are. Even got the manual. We'll get to that later, but I'll give you guys an overview of this. So here's the Hori Fighting Edge stick. Alright, at the front you can see standard 8 buttons. This is the NOR layout. You can see that the layout right here for the buttons, right? It first goes at the very bottom, and then it rises up, and then it goes all the way down. And then we got the stick right here. Oh, sorry. Can't really see properly. We have the PlayStation button and the start button on the opposite side. So, we're gonna take a look at the bottom. Right at the bottom here, we have the pad right here for your lap when you're gonna put it on, you're gonna put the stick on your lap. You're usually gonna play an arcade stick putting this on your lap. Now I'm going to take a look at the front right here. In the front we have the PlayStation touchpad, just like in the in a standard PlayStation pad, because this is also compatible with PlayStation 4, And then if you guys can see it properly, this is a compartment for the wire. There we go. So here we are. A place to put the wires. That is really nice. I never had an arcade stick where you have a spot to put your wires. So this is very convenient. Really nice quality. Here on the left side we don't have anything. On the right side we have plenty of buttons right here. Oh, you can't see it right well. Well, I'll put a picture up but here you can see that there is a tournament toggle button rather, an on and off button for the tournament mode and the assign mode. We also have a toggle button for the dual pad, for the lever rather, that you can set to the dual pad or the left stick or the right stick of a standard pad controller. And we also have the L3, R3, and the share button. So, also I'm not sure if you noticed that there are 6 screws here at each corner and in the middle part of the stick, if you have any intention of opening it. Oh, and another small detail is that there is an audio jack right here in the middle. If you guys can't see it, I'll just edit in a picture. So other than that, that is the stick. This is really heavy, though kind of makes sense from how big this is. So that's for the unboxing and showing you each part of the arcade stick. So in the next segment, I'll show you a few games that I'll run with the Fighting Edge. Unfortunately, I don't own a console, so all the gameplay I'll be showing will be from PC. And after that, I'll give you my final thoughts and review about it. See you in the next segment. Okay, so the first thing I want to note is the headset jack, right? The Fighting Edge has a headphone jack. The quality does not sound that good at all. I've tried plugging it in right here and the quality of the sound is very bad. You can at the very least make out what the sound is supposed to be. Like I can hear a punch right here, I can hear the music, but very low quality. Since this is brand new, the lever is still pretty hard. Feels really nice. So one thing I also want to note is that in order to restart a game in Tekken, right, in practice mode, you need to press the share button and the A button. So you have to reach at the back here at the right side and then press A, which isn't really that big of a deal, but it's worth noting. Alright, so one thing I want to note for this stick, right, is that the buttons are so sensitive. You barely need to put any force just to make it register an input. I'm barely pressing the button. I'm lightly tapping it and it's already registering. It's very sensitive buttons. So if that's your kind of arcade stick, then this is already a big plus for you. So right now, I tried turning on the tournament mode. So right now, I'm trying to press the start button, the PlayStation button. None of them are working. So this is really useful if you're going to maybe Evo and going to different tournaments and all. You don't want to accidentally press the start button and pause the game, right? So none of these buttons, even on the side, are working. Well, maybe the share button. I just tried to start the practice. So that's it for Tekken. We managed to practice to test most of the standard controls that we have. The buttons, though I'm only using up to 6 of these buttons because I only use 2 macro keys. Also, we've also tested the tournament mode, so you can't press start or the PlayStation button. We tried the audio jack. The quality is very bad, but I'm not even expecting much from it because if you're gonna buy the Fighting Edge, you're gonna be looking for these, right? As for the buttons, they are very sensitive. They are really nice. They might be getting used to if you've been using a different controller. As for the stick, the lever is pretty... Since it's, brand new, it's still pretty hard. It's brand new. It feels nice. Also worth noting that the compartment here, right, it has a small little hole for the cable to pass through in. It's a minor detail, and I think any arcade stick that has a compartment for the cable should have one. So you can easily let the cable pass through here without having to open this thing, right? So now that we've tested all of the main functions of the Fighting Edge, I'm gonna showcase to you a few more games, and then I'll give you my final review. Or not. Hey everyone, Shavy Pine here, 1 year into the future. Or present, technically present, right? So what am I from the future present doing here right now in front of you? Let me give you the summary. Last year, on June 14, 2021, I bought the Hori Fighting Edge stick. And on the same day, I did the recording for my unboxing and review, which I was supposed to edit, clean up, and upload the next day. However, on the same day, I was doing the 8-bit do arcade stick review, and so the next day I was I was editing and uploading the video for that the next day. So I was able to upload the 8-bit do arcade stick review, and for the Hori Fighting Edge, I've completely forgotten about it. Bruh. It was only until recently that when I was cleaning up my computer for files and my hard drive for more space that I stumbled upon this footage that I found. It was really old, and since, well, it's really rare and it would be a waste to completely just delete it, I thought, why not use it, right? And I just had an idea that this would make really good footage as testimony to the durability and quality of the Hori Fighting Edge after 1 year of use. So where does this leave us? Well, why don't we continue our discussion of me showing you gameplay footage of me using the Hori Fighting Edge stick. Well, I was supposed to show you more gameplay footage, but unfortunately... the audio went completely bad. So the footage that you just saw, the audio, all came from the Hori Fighting Edge audio jack. So as I mentioned earlier in the Tekken footage, that the audio jack of the Hori Fighting Edge was really bad. I don't recommend anyone using it, as it's not even really clear audio, or it's pretty staticky and it's not clear. I wouldn't recommend using it. So I don't know why, but OBS only recorded all the audio that was coming out of my Hori Fighting Edge stick, which is fine because of that I'm able to demonstrate to you right now the bad quality audio from the Hori Fighting Edge. And it's also fine that I'm not able to demonstrate much to you about the other games because there really wasn't much to add. All the points that I wanted to make and have made have all already been in the Tekken 7 video. All I can confirm to you is that, well, all the buttons and functions of the Hori Fighting Edge is working as intended when it was given to me, when I was using it earlier in the footage. Now that I've discussed and showcased the features of the Hori Fighting Edge stick, it's time for the final part of the video. Final thoughts and review. And to start, I will show you the current state of my Hori Fighting Edge, which looks like this. As you can see, there actually wasn't much changes made to my arcade stick. So it's just the artwork and just a few stickers, like, where's the other one? Oh, there I have a Jojo Part 4 sticker. So as you can see, this is an artwork by designed for me by Kevin Mando. I'll link his Facebook in the description or in the comments below. And as you can see, it's personalized. It has my username as well on it, the IGN. Not a real gamer if you don't have one, you know. And also I want to mention that this is from High Score Girl. It's an anime about arcades, and if you're a fighting game fan, I highly recommend it. It's like 2 seasons and 24 episodes each. It's available on Netflix and it's a really good anime. You should watch it. So, for a short description, the Hori Fighting Edge stick is a tournament grade arcade stick which is also accompanied with the expensive price of 10,500 pesos, which is approximately $200. I'm pretty sure they sell it for $200 overseas. Now I wanna talk about the pros and cons of the Hori Fighting Edge stick. So the first point I wanted to make is the high quality buttons and lever. As of right now, the buttons are all still functioning, it all works as intended, and it still has the same feel as the first day. You only need to apply just little pressure just for an input to register. As for the lever, it did get slightly loose after the first day of using it, but it's still pretty good. There's not much changes to it, even from since the second day I've been using it, technically. The second point I also want to make is the really wide space you have to work with here. Most entry-level arcade sticks have really small spaces right here on the lever side, right? So usually it would probably be around here, so using the lever at times would be a bit uncomfortable, but because of the Hori Fighting Edge and its wide horizontal spacing, you have so much room to like put your hands around and feel more comfortable about it. And the third point is comfortability. As you can see, that they've really put more thought on the slight ergonomic design of the Hori Fighting Edge. You got like the two sides here where you can put your hands as a handle, so you can carry it like this or like this. You can hold it like this on both sides, and it also has the pads for your lap that I mentioned, so that it doesn't slip off when you put it on your lap and you're gonna play. Now, the fourth point that I wanted to make about the Hori Fighting Edge is that compatibility. It's designed for PC and PS4. I'm not sure if it works on PS5. You might need a new driver or a new whatever for it, right? But the fact that it's already compatible for PC and PS4, and because like most local tournaments might be running on PS4 setups, it's really good that it can run on both PC and PS4. And because of that, the next point that I wanted to make is that the fact that it's designed for tournaments. You can bring it to any locals and you'll just be playing at the highest peak of your performance. Well, skills not included, of course. It's just the fight stick, the peripheral. It's high quality. You don't have to worry about your controller. And the last point I want to make, which only I can testify because it's been a year, one whole year of me using the Hori Fighting Edge, is that it's highly durable. One whole year of using it every single day, maybe 1 to 3 hours, right? And all the parts are still working very well. They all still feel like the first day I bought it. It's very functional, high quality. As simple as that. But of course, alongside the pros comes the cons. What are the cons of the Hori Fighting Edge stick? So the first point I want to make is, well, just like the pros, the con of the size. The problem with big sized arcade sticks like this is that it's actually pretty hard to bring this out. Like, you're gonna go to a venue or an event, like, how are you gonna bring this? You're gonna put this in one backpack and it's really heavy. It's not really the best for traveling, I'd say. Actually, it's still difficult to carry or bring around. The second point I want to make is the sharp edge. It's a pretty minor kind of con. As you can see right here, right before the artwork, right here, this is a pretty sharp edge. Like, the first few times I've been using it, I would usually rest my wrist right here, which is a bad idea because it's a very sharp edge that if I kept pressing my wrist right here, it would feel really comfortable, and at some point it'll suddenly start feeling a bit more painful. But of course, it's pretty minor because if you keep using this fight stick, it would usually just rest your whole hand right here. so you wouldn't really feel that much discomfort from the sharp edge, but it's still worth noting. Now the third con point that I want to mention, which I've had a really hard time dealing with, was the fact that the Hori Fighting Edge was very difficult to print artwork for. So for Kevin Mando, I spent like 200 pesos for having him design the artwork, and I would have paid an additional 150 pesos as part of his services to print and cut out the artwork. But the problem is, Kevin Mando told me that they didn't have a paper big enough to fit my artwork. I mean, just look at the Hori Fighting Edge. It's huge. You can't find that many print shops that will get you a print that will just fit a Hori Fighting Edge, at least for a decent price. I had to go to a few different print shops, ask them, can you print it for the size of this arcade stick? And they're like, well, yeah, maybe for like 2,000 pesos. Luckily enough, I found a paper that just fit the artwork of the Hori Fighting Edge. It took me about like 500 pesos, I'm not sure, could be less. And I was just lucky for that. But because of that, it's worth listing down as a con, because if you're an arcade stick user who really likes customizable arcade sticks like me, like I like to use arcade sticks that where you can put your own artwork in. It feels much more personalized and much more comfortable to have, right? So that's a con worth noting for the Hori Fighting Edge. And the last point that I'd like to make about the Hori Fighting Edge is, well, the bad audio jack. Like, this is an arcade stick. I didn't really expect much from the audio jack, but it's really bad. I don't even know why they put an audio jack. There was no need for it. It's completely unnecessary design, so it's also worth noting. I wouldn't use it, but if you're into that, why not? I'm not one to judge. Other than that, this is the best arcade stick I've had so far and the most expensive. However, I cannot recommend this if you're just looking to try out an arcade stick. If you're going for a short-term usage of an arcade stick, I would just recommend to you using something like an 8-bit do arcade stick, or maybe a Mayflash fight stick. F300, F500, that's fine. But if you want a long-term arcade stick with really good stock parts that will probably last you decades, and you won't need to buy another arcade stick for this, then the Hori Fighting Edge stick is the one for you. With all that has been said, it's time to give a rating for this fight stick. The Hori Fighting Edge stick, with all of its features, pros and cons, deserve a rating of a 10 out of 10. With a lot of minor inconveniences that it can give you, I still say the reward or the pros will still overweigh the cons and uncomfortable inconveniences that the Hori Fighting Edge will give you. Like I said, this is the best fight stick that I've owned so far. There's not really much else to say about it. It's a high quality fight stick. If you want it, I'd recommend you can buy it. If you can't, well, there's plenty of other options, right? That's all for this video. That's all for this Hori Fighting Edge review. Thank you for watching.